a little talk. You're welcome to invite that before your practice. I'm gonna let Dee introduce a little bit herself and the upcoming Ganja Yoga teacher training.
Yeah, thank you, Javi. Thanks for the warm intro. Javi was at my very first Ganja Yoga training, which was great, in 2018. So as I shared before, 18 people were all in the one training with one bathroom for 5 days. It was extremely intimate. And so now we're collaborating on our first ever hybrid live stream training. So I've done, I think, 16 in-person trainings in different states, in Michigan, New York, Montreal, different places. But Javi pitched the idea, like, let's do an international retreat or training. Let's have people join from UK, different countries. So in March, we're going to be doing the first of this. I'm so excited. We have us two here for the pod in Berkeley. We have a New Mexico teacher with a pod of students live with her. And then we're also going to have the online cohort, people around the world with Tay and Cynthia. So 2 online teachers, all certified Ganja Yoga teachers. So it's going to be the dopest. I'm really excited. And yeah, it's 4 intense days with a lot of experiential, but we learn all about the history of cannabis, its use across the world, spiritual use, medicinal use, it's, CBD, terpenes, all of that stuff. And then a lot about trauma-informed yoga. A big piece is keeping it safe and accessible. So you'll see today in our class that we often offer modifications. We encourage props. We encourage a really chill practice. So not really yoga for, weight loss or fitness as much as for relaxation and self-care. So we'd love to have you at the training, and at the end of the class, if there's any questions, we'll share more about it. Does that seem like a good high-level overview?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So take a peek around, see if you have everything that you need. Ganja Yoga starts actually in Shavasana, so laying on your back. But if that's not working for you today, you can stay seated up in meditation. You can be on your belly, on your side, or simply finding a shape that's working for you today.
And help yourself to props here in the studio if you want to cover with a blanket, or if, anything you have here. And at home, please make yourself extremely comfortable. Something under the knees is nice sometimes. So from here, Javi's going to take us into the beginning portion. I'm going to lay back and relax.
And also that reminder to take care of yourselves. See if you need a little bit of water. Make sure that you have extra layers if you want it. I'm going to be inviting that last note. And as you feel ready, we'll begin to find our way into laying on our backs, if today you are choosing to start with us in Shavasana. And the legs spread out wide, the toes falling out, the heels in. You can let your arms be by your side, palms facing up. Or you can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. It's okay to make changes. Wiggle the hips, the shoulders. Maybe roll the head side to side a few times, releasing the neck. And then inviting a gentle stillness. The awareness travels to the breath as we begin to notice. Slow and deep breath in. And the exhale is a letting go. And today you can begin to invite audible breaths. These breaths are great for helping us release tensions in the body, in the mind, tensions in our communication. The words we've said, the words we didn't say, letting go of the words we couldn't say. We'll invite ourselves to slow down. Noticing the body short scan for tensions. And using the breath as a tool for relaxation. Every exhale is a letting go, a softening. And we remind ourselves, our minds, that relaxation takes time to build. Choosing to breathe a little bit deeper from the belly. Each breath a little bit deeper. Begin to notice the sensations in the body. Maybe the presence of a medicine. And that breathing in and the letting go. Notice the places where the body meets the earth. It's an invitation for grounding, for really allowing the earth, the floor, the mat to support you. There is nothing to do here but to breathe and soften. To breathe and to let go. The legs and the arm becoming heavier. Shoulders and the chest relaxing even more. Every exhale, that release. The neck softens, the jaw softens. The hands and the feet melting down. What would that feel like? What would that look like? Tensions in this space are like salt and water. They gently, gently dissolve through the edging. Physical tension, emotional tension. That letting go. Noticing your body and the level of relaxation. See if you can, with the next exhale, double the relaxation. Breathing, breathing, breathing. We'll take the last 5 breaths here together. Community breath. Slow and deep breath in, the chest expands. Open the mouth, let it go with a sigh. Ha. And even if we're not breathing on the same room, knowing that we are breathing together. Ha. You can continue to breathe in and out through your nose, inviting that yogic breath, Ujjayi breath, that slight constriction in the back of the throat, that oceanic quality of the breath. We'll begin to slowly return, bringing in that space that we created and that relaxation. Coming back to the breath, slow and deep breath in. Open the mouth, let it go with a sigh. Ha. The body, waking it up as you wiggle fingers and toes. Drawing some circles with the ankles and the wrists. One direction and then the other. And when ready with an inhale, slowly begin to bring the arms all the way up and back. Fingertips are reaching and then reach through toes. Find a full body stretch. Or maybe a yawn as you reach. And then relax here. Bend the elbows. Wiggle the chest. Let it adjust. Armpits opening. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch. The knees open up wide. Notice and adjust hips or shoulders if needed. Bring the chin slightly in, long neck. Making your shapes sustainable. That might mean bringing the heels a little bit further down to release some of the tension. Or other heels a little bit further up. Take a deep breath through the pelvis. And exhale to soften. Through the chest. And soften, let it go. Like 3 more breaths, just like that. Ooh. You can glide the hands through the floor. And parallel. Not happy, lift the hips down. As it release, palms facing up. With an exhale, we'll drop that right leg straight and down to the mat. Let the toes point out and prepare for a spinal twist. Mindful with the lower back, drop that left. Soften through the chest, the neck, the jaw, and stay here or bring your gaze to the left whole body. And notice your body. You're holding, if you're holding or grasping, and you can find that balance, letting go between tension and activation. Three more breaths. The gaze goes back to center. One knee and then the other to the chest, and give yourself a loving hug. Release the shoulders, and maybe you imagine your back. See if you can make it a little flatter. You can rock side to side for that little lower back massage. Maybe you notice your hips. You see if anything changed there. One more big breath. And let the hands come to that left shin. We'll drop that right foot to the earth. Give a little squish, bringing that left knee across and up the body towards that left armpit. Squish, 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 hold. And with a new breath, extend the leg all the way up. Hands for support behind the back. Again, that reminder that you can keep that bend on the knee, but everyone, push the heel up to the sky. Balance out the hips. Balance out the shoulders, and then that exploration, our body as our playground. Rock the leg back and forth. Pointing and flexing toes. And draw some circles with the ankle direction. And then switch it up. Keep that leg up to the sky as the arms open up into cactus again. Elbows bend 90 degrees, relax through the chest. And exhale, drop that left leg straight down to the mat. Let it be supported. Mindful. Exhale that right knee towards the left side. And again, let the knee float here. anchoring through that right shoulder, right elbow, and maybe the gaze follows that direction, full body twist. Three deep breaths. Gaze comes back to center. We'll straighten that right leg, let it be on the ground, and we'll roll down into our bellies. Take your time. We'll bring the elbows beneath the shoulders. The forearms are parallel. And as you land here, push that pubic bone down, tops of the feet down. Notice your chest, and if it's kind of collapsing down, see if you can push the elbows down and then lift the heart, the chin slightly in, so the neck is long. That invitation again to take a soft gaze or close the eye. Imagining the tip of your nose as you begin to draw some infinity symbols. Release on the neck. Finding what feels good and allowing yourself to return to any spot. A little extra care today. Switch the direction of that drawing. One more big breath. From here, we're going to slowly release, bringing hands beneath the shoulders. And taking as much time as you need to slowly push yourself up to a table. The knees open up wide. Toes come to touch, hips to the heels, forehead down. And feel free to invite some props if you need a block in between the heels, a cushion on top of the ankles or beneath the belly, beneath the forehead. Yourself be supported. You can rock the head side to side. You can wiggle the hips even. Three deep breaths. As you feel complete, we'll begin to find ourselves on a table. It's your phone.
Just taking our time to find tabletop. Slowly placing the hands under the shoulders, and the knees under the hips, and maybe you tuck your toes to get a little foot stretch too. And let's press the hands firmly down as we open up the fingers, locking our shoulders. And then if it feels good, allow the head to gently soften down, stretching the back of the neck as you press the hands down. And maybe looking from one armpit to the other for a moment, letting gravity and your breath deepen the neck stretch. Slow, deep breath. And when it feels complete there, we'll return to center. And if your wrists are not loving this, you can make fists instead. We're going to stay in our table pose and begin some cat and cow. Inhaling to lift the chest, the throat, the face. Then on your exhale, rounding like a Halloween cat. Pressing the hands firmly down as you lift heart, throat, feeling the collarbones widen. Maybe you look up. And then exhale slowly. Cat pose. Couple more here on your own slow breath timing. Really drawing the awareness into the spine. Big inhale through the nose to warm the breath. And if you'd like, open your mouth on your exhale. One more here. Yeah, let it go. And then we're going to bring both hands slowly to the left side on a diagonal, kind of a arching cat-cow. We're going to exhale and look at our left hip. And then we're going to inhale into more of a cow as we stay on the left. Exhale a cat as we turn back. And inhale a cow, coming more forward. And always modify anything that we suggest or any yoga teacher suggests. This is your practice, your time. One more round here for a side body stretch, exhaling to arch. Inhaling, big breath. And last exhale. Move slowly here, transitioning back through center. Take your time to go the other way. Looking back at your hip as you exhale, arching like a cat. And then inhale into a side body cow. Couple more here. Slow inhale through the nose. Maybe a little volume on your exhale. Last round. And slowly we'll return to center. Take your time here as we come to our elbows, placing them where your hands just were. And then we're going to cross the left elbow and walk it away. Notice how the hips want to shift. Let's see if they can stay still. We'll flip that hand and rest the cheek on the arm. And then pull your hips back. Feel the elongation of your spine, and the gentle opening in your shoulder. And feel free to modify. Always listening to your body. If your knees hurt, then perhaps a prop. Slowing down your breath. Allowing your awareness, your mind, to connect to your breath and to your body. Just a few more moments here in silence. Last breath. And as you finish that exhale, slowly turn back to center. We'll do the other side. As I cross my arm, my hip wants to move, but I'm going to keep it still. Flipping that palm, resting the cheek, pulling the hips back. Notice any difference on this side. Slow inhale through your nose. Long exhale, either from your mouth or your nose. The mouth is even more relaxing. Perhaps a little sound vibration. Yes. Challenge yourself. Be a little brave. Your vibration will encourage your neighbor to make some sounds. Few last breaths, savoring this shape, this moment. And then moving slowly, like the air was resisting you. You have to go slow, coming back to center. And take your time once more to find table pose. Moving slowly. Let's take the hands right. It's going to help us to step the left foot slowly to the top. And if you don't need that, you can take your left, then feel free. It just makes it a little more easy. So the hands go right and the left foot steps to the mat. And then we'll frame the foot again with the hands. And if you have blocks, you can bring the floor a lot closer, making the pose more accessible. So blocks on any height. The highest would be the chillest. So wherever you want to be, finding your sweet spot, your edge. How tight are your hips today? How much do you want to exert? And once we have our props and our pose, let's make sure the toes are facing the short end of the mat and guide the knee to face the same direction as the toes. So we just want to make sure the knee's not coming in or out. Just guiding it forward. And if, like mine, your knee is far past your toes, then you might want to walk your foot up. Not so important since we're staying low, but in time when we build going up with it, we want to have a square in the knee, 90 degrees. Walk your foot more forward if needed. Today we'll stay low, however, just hands on the floor or the blocks, sinking the hips forward. Big breath here, inhale, fill your hips with your breath. Exhale, soften, guiding your hips more forward, lower to the floor with every breath. Just as we breathe here, you might look down or you might explore closing your eyes, whatever suits you today. Slowing down the breathing, letting the breath be a massage for your hips. Sending the breath to the stretch. Here we invite cannabis to deepen our practice, inner felt sense. Just another 2 breaths here, backing off or deepening, whatever you'd like. Gorgeous. Then we're going to walk the hips back, the hands back, and come into a hamstring stretch. If you have blocks, you can bring them. And you can either stay lifted, ganja joke, or you can sit back on your heel if it feels good. Just a little bit of a stretch here. Instead of rounding our upper body, we'll fold forward. So it's not as much of a movement, very subtle movement, getting a bit of a hamstring stretch. And so if you're not feeling it, you might come higher or lower, playing with what's going to work for you today. And then from this hamstring stretch, let's let the toes turn inwards a little, coming toward the right. Getting into this outer side of our hip, into that IT request. I also have IT stuff. This feels so good. Let's just take 3 more breaths, finding your sweet spot. We don't have to play at our edge. We don't have to force. We can find the balance, as Javi said, between effort and sweetness, effort and softness. 1 more breath. And then let's let the foot return to center and walk the hands or the blocks back to the front, returning to our lunge. And let's untuck the back toes if they're tucked, having the top of your foot on the mat. And we're just going to play here and see how things feel. So no expectations. We're going to turn the left toes to face left. And then we're going to see if it feels good to come to the outside edge of that left foot and get a little bit of a stretch in the hip. Beautiful. And using blocks once more brings the floor closer, so it makes the pose just less labor on my shoulders, my wrists. And find your sweet, hopefully juicy hip stretch. And then I'll invite you to have the tiniest smile on the corners of your lips. Just because this is an intense pose, so we're going to feel happy as we do it. Ah, juicy, yes. Breathe into the stretch. Just a couple more breaths. If you want to take it a touch deeper, eye just above the knee, but there's nowhere we need to be, nothing we need to prove. Release very slowly, coming back to the blocks or the floor with the hands, bringing that front foot back to center. And then let's release this side. Before we do the other side, we'll take a child's once more. And in this child's, we'll touch the palms and bring the thumbs towards the back of the head. Big inhale, hold the breath at the top. Exhale into the earth. Another like that, big inhale. And just a pause here before we do the lunge series on the other leg. This shape is a perfect one to take a second to thank cannabis. And then moving slowly, let's release the hands and come back to table pose. And as before, if you can get the right foot, go for it. Some of us will take the hands left to facilitate that. And then we'll frame the foot again. And you might use blocks or books, pillows to make the pose a little more accessible. Have the toes and the knee going in the same direction as before. And again, notice if the knee is not far past the toes. Try to walk the foot forward. And then we'll sink the hips down and forward, down and forward. Notice any difference on this side. Make sure you're able to breathe. A beautiful way to know if we're working too hard is if the breath is compromised. Coming into that ujjayi breath once more, where we close the throat slightly and we hear and feel the breath like an ocean wave. Just a couple more breaths. Sending your breathing into your hip, into your stretch. Last breath or two, softening the jaw. And then as you're ready, we'll slowly bring the hips and torso back for the hamstring stretch. Maybe we bring our props. You can play with either sitting on the heel with the toes tucked or on the heel flat, or being more upright altogether off the heel. And you might not do the same thing on this side. Some of us have injuries, different preferences and needs. See what your body's asking for here. And the tendency can be to curl the upper body. If possible, we'd love to keep the spine long as we hinge from the hips. So not as much movement maybe. Feeling your hamstrings for a moment before we do the IT addition. The backs of your legs softening towards the floor without force, letting that heel extend out from your hip. Don't worry so much about the knee, just extending the heel. One more breath, and then we'll guide the toes slowly into the left to get the outside of the leg more. Uniting our consciousness to our body and our breath. Beautiful. Let's release this, coming back to center, and slowly we'll come back to the front of the mat. And from here, we'll turn that the right toes to the right, coming onto that diagonal outside edge of the foot. And again, maybe you're on blocks. I much prefer this pose with blocks. So we're flexing that heel and just kind of feeling into it, seeing if we can sink the hips down and forward. And if you're not feeling much or you're just wanting a little more, maybe the hand comes there and it helps to open the hips. Not required. And again, I'll invite that tiny smile or big smile. Finding our balance here, the balance between effort and surrender. Just another breath. And then let's release. Coming back to neutral with the foot. We'll place the blocks to the side. And then we're going to step the knee back and tuck the toes underneath. And let's have our toes mat width, a little bit wider stance. We'll open up our fingers really wide here, and we're going to really press into the index and thumb webbing. Pressing down there, locking my shoulders so I'm not squishing them to the ears. I'm going to lift my knees. Keep them very bent as I draw the hips back into a modified downward dog. With a wider stance and the deeper bent knees, we can focus on the spine more. That's beautiful. Pressing the floor away with your hands, rolling your armpits to more look at each other. That's it. Chin toward chest. Yes. Getting a nice stable shoulder. Great, Charles. Yes. And then the hips go back and up with the knees even more bent. Try playing with that. As we bend our knees, we can lift our tailbone to the sky. Then maybe we gently move the hip side to side here. We're not going to stay for too long, just playing a little. Nice. Let's bring our movements to slow close. And we'll lower the knees back to the floor. And very slowly, we'll come to seated, sitting on our knees or a block, or cross-legged if you prefer. Just let your head rise slowly. We'll place the hands on the lap, closing the eyes or looking down if you'd like. And just take a big inhale. One more like that. Big inhale. And just tuning in for a moment, reconnecting to your breath. Slowing down and deepening your breath once more, feeling how your side ribs move with your breath. And then we'll stay in this seat or whatever seat's comfortable for you. We're going to inhale and widen the arms like a T. And then we're going to exhale and cross the right arm over the left as far as we can cross. And then we're going to wrap. And so it may not look like this. It may look like this. Another option. See what feels better for you. Or maybe it looks like this. So just, it's not about the look, more about the feel. So whatever option you choose here, let's lift the elbows, but not the shoulders. See if you can play with that internal up and down motion. And then draw the elbows away from you as they lift and the shoulders down. And as we breathe here in this simple pose, we'll draw the ears back. They might be forward over ahead of the head. We'll take them in line with the rest of the neck. Big inhale and exhale. Feeling that opening through the shoulders. Just 2 more breaths. And before we release, let's inhale and lift the face, the chest, the elbows, look up. A little bit of a cat or a cow arch. And then exhale into a cat, bringing your face toward your belly button. 2 more here. Inhale, press into your seat. Be tall through your spine as you arch. Exhale. 1 more here. And as we exhale, we'll release the hands, resting them on the lap for a moment. Maybe we roll the shoulders. Maybe we roll the head gently. And as you're ready, slowly returning to center. On an inhale, we'll draw the arms parallel to the floor. And exhale, we'll do the other one on top. Who knows what's on top? I think it's left. Yes. And then again, you can do the variation where you're giving a hug if you prefer. See what feels better for you on this side. Let's let the elbows lift, the shoulders lower. Drawing the elbows away from you a little to widen through the shoulder blades. And feel your breath. See if you can slow down your breath. What can you notice about your body, about your breath? And then from here, let's inhale into our back bend, pressing down through your seat to grow tall and arch back. Exhale. 2 more. Move on your own sweet timing. And as we release, again, any movements from your head, from your shoulders, The more we tune in, the more we create our own practice. One last seated pose. We'll slowly come to cross-legged on our prop if you'd like to lift your hips. Elevating our hips can help to keep the spine tall without as much effort. Sitting up as tall as comfortable here. And then we'll place the right hand behind us and inhale the left arm to the sky. Look at your hand as you reach up. And then as you exhale, move the arm across to the right, right knee, twisting to the right. Just for a little variation, we'll keep our twist, but on the next exhale, we'll slowly turn the head to the left. Stay here for a couple breaths. Slow down your breath. Massaging your neck, your spine, the organs in your belly. Notice if you're able to soften. Maybe don't work so hard. Last 2 breaths. The belly fills, the side ribs fill as you breathe. And then as you feel complete, returning the body and head to center and adjust. Big inhale and exhale. One more like that. And then let's do the other side, bringing the left hand behind, the right arm up to the sky. Inhale as you reach and look. Exhale, twist. We'll start with the head going left with the body. Take a big inhale here, and on your next exhale, gently turn the head to the right. Bilateral movements. Slow breath, bringing your mind back whenever it drifts away. Last breath here. And when you're ready, returning everything to center. Make any last seated movements that your body's asking for. Now that it's warm, present. And then as you're ready, we're going to return to our back. Perhaps blocks or bolsters under your knees. Perhaps a lap toque. We'll give ourselves like a minute, 30 seconds to a minute to do what we need to. Now we put the socks back on. Some water. Preparing for our last section of the class, guiding us into a relaxing state of rest.
This is your time, this is your practice, this is your space for self-care. So make yourself a little nest. Invite those pillows, those blankets, those extra layers. You can cover your eyes. Shavasana is one of the most important parts of our practice. This is the space where we integrate movement, the yoga, the cannabis, mind, body. This is where we get to explore the benefits of our practice. Presence of plant medicine. There is nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, but to fully allow yourself to rest, to reset. If you are in Shavasana, the toes fall out, heels in, the legs open as wide as it feels comfortable. The arms by the side, and make yourself big in your practice, your body, your breath. It's okay to use space. The eyes and the lips are so gently closed. We begin to wonder within, exploring that relationship to cannabis. Exploring your body, your mind, and allowing yourself to navigate through the music. Breathing in and out. Every exhale is a letting go. Remember, all is well. All is well. It's okay to rest. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to relax deeply. What if it were that simple as to breathe and to let go? What if it were that simple to return to this space, spaciousness, balanced, peaceful? What if it were that simple as to breathe and to let go? Just like leaves slowly floating down a stream. What if it were that simple? Breathing and letting go. Relaxing. Healing. Begin to slowly, slowly return back. Wrapping up story, conversation, retrieving the last pieces of yourself inside. Bringing awareness back to the breath. A slow and deep breath in, fully expanding. Then opening the mouth, letting it go with a side. Returning to the body and fingers and toes. Going some circles with wrists and ankles. And as you feel ready, you'll inhale the arms all the way up and back. Reaching your fingertips and toes, full body stretch. Yawn. Any weird movements with the spine, the legs, they breathe. And then relaxing here again. Rolling to one side. To a fetal position. That reminder that we can restart, rebirth ourselves at any moment during the day, during our practice, that we can start over. We can choose to move from a different plane. With the help of your hand and your forearm, pushing the floor to come up, back to seated. Awareness still within. Simple seated posture of your preference. And hands come to the heart. Symbol of our physical practice coming to an end. And an invitation to a practice of gratitude. To bring to your heart, to your mind, to your body, soul, 2 things for which you feel grateful for today. Go ahead and take a breath with them. And say thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes.
Gracias.
And then in those challenging days, there's always something to be grateful for. Our gratitude to our plant ally cannabis for being with us in this way, helping us in our self-care, our spiritual practice, and our connection to our body, releasing. Thanking each other as we build this practice together. And thank you for your practice today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back, Anji Yogi. Acknowledgement that we are still in medicine space, moving slowly, mindfully. We'll stay here for a little bit. Could you tell us a little bit more about that Ganji Yoga teacher training coming up if you're curious about this practice? If you're a yoga teacher and want to invite it into your set of skills, or maybe you're curious, this is also open for kind of personal growth and exploration.
Yeah, we started having more non-yoga teachers join for that personal growth, to share the practice with their families. And I have a few therapists that are they wanted to learn Ganja yoga to improve their therapy client sessions, not even with yoga, just, getting that whole methodology. So yes, I'm in the medicine space, coming out of relaxation. So, okay, try to find some words. That was very relaxing. So a big part of Ganja Yoga is getting into the parasympathetic, the nervous system response that's responsible for rest and digest. That's where the healing can happen. So, and then when we do it in community, it's even more profound. And so, yes, our training is on March 30th for 4 days until April 2nd. And our early bird pricing ends tomorrow. So I think it's 150 off. So it's a pretty substantial price difference. So if you are interested, we also have installment payment plans and scholarships. So for anyone who's needs-based and wants to join but needs the financial assistance, please let me know. We can discuss that. And yeah, it's so sweet.
That's one of the things that I
Yeah.
really love about Kanji Yoga is that it's kind of a practice that's very accessible. Like it has a lot of modification for those of us who have, some difficulties with our bodies. There's that equity piece too. And it's very informed in things that for me are very relevant, cultural appropriation, kind of like social justice. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have some important and challenging conversations. Even to use cannabis is such a privilege when there's people, who get put behind bars for the same thing, and not just all people of a certain racial profiled group. So we talk about that. Like, of course, we want to use the medicine, but we also need to acknowledge that not everyone can use the medicine. And so as medicine users, it's our responsibility to not just talk about the inequalities, but to do things to bring equity, to whether it's signing petitions or voting for people who, support cannabis justice, or having donation-based and needs-based scholarships, and different ways that we can move toward equity. It's really important, and it's our responsibility as Ganja yogis. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. So our people here are all still in Super Shavasana land, and I don't know how everyone's feeling at home. We're open to answering any questions about the training if anyone has, now, or you can also email me, Dee at Ganja Yoga, and I'll be sure to respond before tomorrow's early bird ends. So, if you're sort of in the medicine space right now, we can talk later. But if anyone does have a question, feel free to raise your hand, put it in the chat box, or here in our group, just raise your hand too. So nice to collaborate. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.